Hello and welcome to Cars and Anime, where we talk cars and anime. Now moving on to the car section first, we're going to bring you this beauty. It's Cupra Leon 245. There's actually not many people who have been talking about this car, and it's something that's going a little bit under the radar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this video with you, showcasing the great aspects of this car, even a few things I don't quite like. And I'll be honest, this is actually my daily driver, so I'll be able to actually give you an in-depth review for this about 6 months that I've actually had this car, and give you the ins and outs, and let you know if you're actually looking to buy one, whether it's worth it or not. Alright, fine. As we're already outside the car, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start talking about the aggressive detailing of the actual car. So let's talk about the body and what the car looks like. As you can see from the front, it's quite aggressive. As you can see, it is based off of a Cupra Leon, but it's got a much more aggressive stance. It actually sits a little bit lower, a couple of millimeters lower on all four wheels, and you've actually got more aggressive sort of black styling. You've got the black grille, and you've got the very obvious change in the grille. The copper styling, you'll actually see further into the video, the copper styling is everywhere, and I actually quite like it. There are a lot of people who are a little bit 50-50 on it, but I really like it. And you get the sort of the LED lights all across the front. This is the nice graphene grey that you can also get. It's a special edition colour, but definitely go have a look at it in person. It looks a lot better in person, as you might see it on the camera just here. Now, as we're walking around the car, you can also see that we've got aggressive styling everywhere. We've actually got the car actually sits on 19-inch wheels. I actually like these wheels. This is the VZ2 spec trim of the car itself. I don't quite like the VZ3 wheels, but that's obviously entirely up to you whether you like those or not. But I really like sort of the machine black with the silver accent on the sides, and then you got the nice sort of big brake discs in there with the brake pads as well. Now moving further along, you see the nice grey sort of sweep all along. You get the really aggressive body line, as you can see, that follows all the way through, and it actually pauses a little bit here, but it continues even through the fuel cap all the way through to the back of the car. The car has slightly wider arches as well, which is amazing. It gives it that nice sort of wide stance when it's just sitting there. It actually gives the arse of the car a bit more thickness, which is great. We always like that. Now, going to the back of the car, as you can see, the sweeping line continues going all the way throughout, and you get this really nice sort of sweeping effect of the rear headlights as well. This is amazing. This is like one of my favorite features of the car itself, and you get the nice sort of sweep when it comes back in itself, and you get quite a lot of ridges, as you can see. You get a nice sort of massive spoiler at the back, and this continues throughout because you get sort of a ridge and then a ridge, and then it keeps going like that, which I quite like. I'll be honest. Moving a little bit further down, one of the nicest obviously features of the car, you get the double single exhaust on either side. There's actually no filters in the exhaust system, so as soon as you turn it on, even if you're in comfort mode, the exhaust is always on all the time, and you get the big red diffuser there as well. So moving into the inside of the car, where you're literally going to be spending most of your time, I actually really love being in here. It's actually a really nice feel of the car itself. It feels very nice and luxurious, as you can tell from the sort of the leather everywhere. So you've got the leather steering wheel, you do have some leather on the seats themselves, you've got the nice sort of squishy material, as you can see over here. which actually comes down into this sort of ridge, which looks quite similar to the Audis, and you get this nice sort of aluminium finish design sort of here, which is actually really nice. And you get the copper styling again everywhere, just like I mentioned on the badge outside. You get the sort of copper across all the vents, you get copper on the steering wheel, you actually get the copper Cupra badge in copper all across here, as you can see, and even the stitching everywhere is copper, which I actually quite like. There's a lot of cars that use red, and it's a very typical red for most sports cars, and actually this nice sort of copper stitching and gold stitching is quite nice and refreshing, which is really nice to see. Now, moving on to a few of the further details that you get a nice sort of big 10-inch display, you get a nice 8-inch cockpit display as well, and they are quite nice and generous. Now, if we want a more in-depth review of the infotainment system and how you can actually utilize the cockpit display, please comment down below, and we might actually take some time to make a more in-depth video of the car, the driving, and just the in and outs of the car itself as well, if that's something that you want. The car is DSG, so you get a nice little gearbox just down here, where you can obviously see you've got your drive, neutral, reverse and park, and this little stick shift here. The button here, as you can see, is your start button. All you need to do is hold down the brake, hold down the button there, and the car will actually start. To turn the car off, you just need to press the button again and the car will turn itself off, and it's as great as that. As we're down here, we're gonna have a little look at the key itself. The key, this is the key, the Cupra key. As you can see, it's very plain, very nice and sleek. You've got the Cupra badging on one side. If I turn it over, so on this side, as you can see, there's just the usual buttons that you would get: the lock, the unlock, and the unlock boot button. The key is very nice and very sleek. I'm just gonna hold it up for you guys here. It fits in the pocket really well, and you don't actually need the key to enter the car. It's a keyless entry car, and you can actually lock the car without the key as well. And as you saw just now, you can actually start the car without the key as well, which is actually really nice and convenient. There's so many times where I have the keys in my jacket pocket, in my bag, and I can start the car and actually enter the car without having to fumble around and actually look for it. It's actually very nice and secure, because you actually have to be really close to the car with the key to actually unlock it. So much so that if you have the key and you're standing on the passenger side of the car and I'm on the driver's side, for example, I can't unlock the car using the driver's side door, which is amazing, because someone can't then unlock the car even if your key is by your window, anything like that, and it's quite hard to replicate in that sort of sense, which is actually well done to Cupra for having such good features like that. So as you can see, the boot's actually quite large. Now, the boot capacity of this particular car is 380 litres. That's actually on par with the Golf, and it's slightly larger than Ford Focus ST. If you go for the e-hybrid version, which is the Cupra 245 e-hybrid, that actually has a slightly smaller boot capacity of 270, and that's because of the batteries that actually go underneath the boot space. If you were to, you can pop the seats back. They actually do go perfectly flat. And as you can see, you do get sort of a ski chute in case you wanted to go skiing, I guess. So some cool features of the boot itself, apart from the boot space as I talked about earlier, you've got some storage space just on the side over here, a nice little pocket just in here. I can fit my little Cupra bag into there quite nicely, and you can fit loads of other stuff in here. The nice thing about this actually Cupra bag, as you've seen it's got some Velcro, so I could just whack it onto there if I'm doing anything else, keep it out of the way if I don't really want to just keep it inside in the boot and everyone's away. And taking out the false floor, if I pull that out, it must be. As you can see, we've actually got a spare wheel. Now the spare wheel is a space saver wheel, not a full wheel, but as part of the kit you do get a small jack with your wheel nut and a release wrench as well. on to the engine itself, the powerhouse of the entire car. This particular Cupra Leon has a 245 PS engine. It's a 2-litre TSI made by VW. It's the same exact engine that's actually used in the Golf GTI. And there is a slightly more powerful version of this car, which is the 300 PS. That's actually equivalent to the GTI Club Sport. Slightly lower power than the 310 S3, which is actually based off of the exact same car. This one's just down-tuned to make it less powerful. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you all liked it. Please like and please subscribe. Comment if you want anything extra that I didn't quite cover in this video itself. If we get a couple of thousand likes, what I'll actually do is I'll put together a video with more in-depth reviews about everything else. And yeah, that's me gone.
Wait. He was my ride. Wait.